when you ask the government, oh, we want to change this, we want to do that, we want to do this, they want you to have some kind of research or some kind of statistics that back up what you want. And the specific goal with the strategy was, well, if we survey all of these LGBT and non-LGBT young people across the country, then we can assess, well, what do they want, what do they think, what are their opinions on this topic, which can then be used to leverage what the community wants.
Outside the community, it was questions like, do you think people within the community have rights? Like, do you think it's okay for them to grow up? Like, do you think they will have a good experience growing up in Ireland? And it was interesting because so much of the stuff was like, probably not. Like, we only got married to Claudia like 2 years ago. So like, that's why we had no statistics and we had no studies done before now, because it had been illegal, which is wild.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And like in the end, like the National LGBTI plus Youth Strategy ended up being this big document where we had all of these tasks and like plans for different departments of government and for different groups of people to undertake that would, based on all of the survey results and all the consultation results, improve the lives of LGBTI plus young people across the country.
And it was really interesting because it meant we got to like actually talk to these people who would be expected to implement this change now. By the end of it, I feel like we really produced something that does have young people at the heart of it. We did a youth-friendly version as well, so you can actually read it and understand what's going on. Like, it was really important to us that this wasn't just a piece of paper, like it wasn't just kind of let die after this. But it is cool because we do see change happening all the time, like especially with the new RSE thing. They're including like LGBTI plus relationships and stuff like that.
And they asked us.
Yeah, that was a direct recommendation. We both got involved because we were peer educators and belonged to, which is an LGBTI plus youth service.
It can be really hard to put yourself out there. Young people aren't in school necessarily taught to be outspoken about their opinions. If you're used to just being told to like sit down and listen, it's very hard to stand up and say what you have to say.
You don't have to be a politician and you don't have to be like screaming in the doll. It is literally as simple as like sending an email to your TD or like going to a consultation or filling out a survey. Just adding your little contribution.
Social media is such a useful tool to find things to get involved with. Like a lot of the organizations that are having protests, events, meetings, etc., they're posting them as Facebook events. They're posting about it on Twitter, stuff like that. You can absolutely find stuff to get involved with using the social media that you're probably already on. Especially like with something like a protest, it's very easy to just show up and participate and be there without feeling like there's a pressure on you to be this really well thought out, eloquent activist.
Yeah, I think we put a lot of emphasis on the word activist, meaning that you have to be like outspoken, shouting at every event. Like, you can be an activist just by like having a chat with your mates and being like, oh, I don't really think that's on. Spreading information and like education. I think that's a huge way to engage people. You know, in the last few recent years, like Ireland has been going through such a rapid change, and you know, with marriage equality, with like the Gender Recognition Act, the review of the Gender Recognition Act, you know, repeal, it's been huge, and it's really engaged people in feeling like they can make a change, like sharing a post, wearing a badge. That's amazing. It's so cool to see people just caring and being like, I don't have to like whatever party is in government, I can just want to stand up for my own views.
It is so intimidating, especially as a young person.
Absolutely.
Going into that stuff, because you feel like everybody else knows more than you and everybody else knows what they're talking about better than you, when in reality, like, I knew quite a lot by virtue of being a young trans person at that time. I knew quite a lot about what would have worked for me in that law and what wouldn't have, and then when going into the review, I knew a lot because I had utilised the law. I had gone through the process laid out in the law. I had that knowledge, yet you still go into it feeling like you don't, because it's kind of put across that way to you that like, these are the professionals that know what they're doing and you are you and you do not. You're just a regular person.
you need regular people, like just normal people living their lives, like hanging out in the lib, like to be involved and have their say, because those are the people of Ireland. Like sometimes people are like, oh, I'm not political, I'm not engaged, and I'm like, well, if you care about living in Ireland and you care about like what Ireland is representing as a country and like what we're doing for our people, then you do care, like then you are political.
Everyone I know who like was very adamant about I'm going to like register to vote so I can vote in the referendum has since been like, oh god, I'm so keen to vote again.
Yeah, things like marriage equality and things like repeal, it was easy to see how they were connected to you. But it's like every election and every vote and every kind of political policy and blah 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 is connected to you. It just might be in a more abstract way than you had thought about before.
And like nearly every political decision is either going to affect you directly, affect you in your future, or affect somebody that you care about. So you should care.
Stuff like marriage equality, stuff like repeal, we believed in it. And I think you should feel the same way, right, about your candidates. You should be like, I believe in them. I just think you should always vote for things you believe in, or people you believe in, and people you'd be happy to see represent you.